it's amazing to watch him be exactly who he is, be the lyric kid. And people who never even listen to lyrics are like we're saying his freestyles, his battles, his songs. It's just great to watch. And it's great for what it is that we do. And lyric driven hip hop. It's great to see.
At this very moment, we are on the verge of hearing one of the most anticipated collaborations in the entirety of hip hop at the present time. It is really about to confirm Drake's decline and make all of the L's he has been getting feel worse than they ever have before. If you are Drake, just the concept of these rappers joining together for a song is enough to make you feel like you are losing your mind. As a result of the rumblings that are taking place inside the industry, it is almost certain that we are going to get a brand new collaboration between none other than Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T. Now, before we go into how, at this point, this collaboration is not just as confirmed as it can be, but that it is going to shake up the rap world in a way that very few other collaborations ever can. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The year 2025 has just become a more exciting year for rap music thanks to the addition of Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T. There is more to come than just the fact that two of the most talented rappers working in the industry today are going to swap rhymes for the first time since the release of Nostalgia in 2013, which was produced by Ye and is in and of itself one of the best hip-hop songs of the whole decade of the 2010s. Obviously, in light of everything that has transpired in the hip-hop scene since then, and particularly the events that have transpired in the most recent times, we are now going to be witnesses to two rappers who are in a league of their own doing a victory lap in a manner that no one else even has the potential to do. Naturally, Kendrick and Push are the only two rappers in the world who can proudly state that they have triumphed over Drake in a rap beef. This is because they are the only ones who have ever done it. As a result of the work that both of them produced, and particularly Kendrick with the enormous impact that his tracks had, he brought an end to this reign and era in hip-hop, which was characterized by an excessive number of individuals praising mediocrity. When it comes to how exactly we learned that Kendrick and Push are going to be coming very soon, it appears that it all began with some mysterious posts from major rap publishing outlets. On these posts, there were pictures of a DOT and Clipse, which of course is a reference to the fact that Kendrick and Pusha, a rap combo, have lately resumed their collaboration. Following these posts from major media outlets, which indicated that something may be going on behind the scenes, it has been reported that Clipse has released and synchronized a new song called Whips and Chains, which features Kendrick Lamar. The song was uploaded by Clipse. In addition to the all-time performances that Kendrick and Push are about to deliver over one of the best sounding beats that hip-hop has seen in quite some time, it is obvious that they are going to spin things on Drake one more time, making him look worse than he has ever looked before, particularly for some of the most out-of-touch lines that he said on a track like Family Matters. If this is the title of the song, we have already heard a portion of it previewed in the past. While all of these hints about this record are still relatively vague, it is important to note that all of this noise about this collaboration in the industry is coming after a series of moments in which Pusha T has already been secretly hinting at the fact that he and Kendrick have locked in, and that whatever they are holding is already done. This is something that should be taken into consideration, despite the fact that we do not know when this new album from Pusha T and Clipse will be released officially. We do know for certain that it is being positioned to be the most significant moment on one of the rap albums that is currently being awaited the most. Since 2009, this is the first time that we have heard Clipse and Pharrell working together, and beyond this reunion, the fact that Kendrick Lamar is joining such an influential group of hip-hop musicians is only going to make the spotlight even brighter. Push has recently announced that this album will be released in 2025, after it was once scheduled to be released in 2024. This was reportedly due to the fact that the release of Kendrick Lamar's GNX caused the entire industry to move all of their plans out of the way toward the end of the year. Up to this point, Push had already dropped other indications regarding him and Kendrick being locked up. Push is one of the real ones that Kendrick will stand by no matter what, which is something that we have learned in a rap world where Kendrick has talked about not having many friends or ties because he does not appreciate what a lot of people are doing today. This is more obvious than it has ever been before because when it comes to Pusha T's covert rollout of this entire moment, the timeline of events speaks volumes about what has become apparent. Since Kendrick won his beef with Drake, this collaboration has been coming together in some form or another ever since it was introduced. From Pusha T praising Kendrick's strategy when he was in the most watched back and forth in a rap beef of all time, to Push being the only other rapper other than Nas to congratulate Kendrick when he got the Super Bowl halftime show, Push has consistently stood up in an industry where more rappers are afraid to voice their opinions about how they feel. Push has been a leader in the industry. Push has been making cryptic references to the notion that when this new Clipse album is released, it is going to have an impact on the industry that very few other rap albums can even have today. These references range from minor moments like these to much larger indications. Push himself and Malice are not only top tier lyricists in terms of the expertise they bring to the page and the fear and intimidation they bring to their opponents, but there is also the fact that Pharrell is producing this entire album, which means that we already know that Nas is another confirmed feature. There are very few other bodies of work that have even come close to matching the level of greatness that this album contains in terms of hip-hop. When Pusha T was discussing the record in August of 2024 and its status at that time, he stated that he, No Malice, and Pharrell had been working on the album for quite some time. This is the most important piece of information when it comes to ascertaining whether or not Kendrick Lamar is actually going to be a part of this album. It was mentioned by him that the album was almost finished, and the only thing that was preventing it from reaching its fully finished condition was the fact that they were waiting for one more huge feature to be released. Considering that Push has stated this and then chosen to keep it a secret, it is clear that the presence of this name on the album is going to carry a significant amount of weight. Push was seated in front of a Chanel stage that had been designed by Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free at the time when he was making this statement during an interview. Again, when it comes to this level of rappers, it appears that they do everything on purpose, including the manner in which they release their albums and provide hints. As an illustration, Kendrick Lamar has used interviews and public appearances to hint to what is going to happen next, leaving behind hints about what will happen in the not too distant future. During an interview that Kendrick Lamar conducted with SZA around the end of the year 2024, Kendrick was shooting images with his G&X. This clearly demonstrates the level of planning and forward thinking that this top tier of rappers brings to the table, even when it comes to setting up graphics for their interviews. As a result of Pusha T dropping as many hints as he possibly can about the fact that he and Kendrick Lamar have been working together in the studio, and that Kendrick is the mystery feature that will finish the Clipse album, the stakes are at an all-time high. It is only natural that Pharrell, who is responsible for producing the entire album, will be the one to create the beat for the single on which Kendrick and Push will interchange verses. Pharrell in particular was such a key figure during the Kendrick and Drake back and forth event that took place in the summer of 2024. This is especially true when taking into consideration the Drake beef and the fact that these three people have been involved in the tension with Drake for such a long time. When it came to Kendrick and Drake, one of them was attempting to save Pharrell's legacy, while the other was attempting to diminish it entirely. When Pharrell is added to this, and you see the kind of rhythm that he's going to make for these two, it is not only going to elevate the stakes for the moment, but it is also going to be one of the best instrumentals that he has released in years. It is the moment that this song signifies to the hip-hop world as a whole that will be emblematic of the transition that we are all watching. It will reinforce the win that we have seen over the years that has helped rap achieve a better cultural position than it has been in quite some time. The bits that we have already heard from what Clipse and Pharrell have been working on indicate that this album has a sound that is both immaculate and magnificent, of the kind that can only be replicated by the combination of Push and the most top tier producers. It is my expectation that Push and Kendrick will deliver some of the most triumphant and authoritative verses they have produced in a considerable amount of time, given the record that we are going to get. As we witnessed in Nostalgia, these two not only bring out the best in each other, but now with all the background and stakes of where their careers have taken them, they have a great deal more energy to play off of compared to before. It is also significant to notice that Nas is included on this album as well. We have witnessed a strong relationship and parallel between Kendrick and Nas, beginning with the song Man in the Garden, which samples and interpolates the song One Mic by Stillmatic. And of course, Kendrick acknowledging on GX's intro track Whacked Out Murals that he won the Super Bowl, and NOS was the only one who congratulated him. NS is another one of the rappers who is strong enough to stand out and speak his mind in this era where more MCs are ducking any sort of accountability. And I mean, who knows? Even if there is already a song that Kendrick is said to be on, we do not know how accurate it is. There is a possibility that Kendrick, Pusha, and Nas are all featured on the same track. If this were to occur, it would be a combo that is so legendary that I don't even believe the rap world could handle it. For Kendrick Lamar, the only rappers who are not from his own label and coast that he is even partially associating with and indicating that they are like-minded on some level are men who actually are from a totally different era. This is the stance that he is taking at this point in time. From Nas to Push to even Pharrell on the producer side of things, all of whom are all-time great luminaries who have permanently etched their position among the highest of hip-hop perfection. This appears to be another planned move on his behalf. Kendrick is really showing us in real time how he is elevating past discussions with rappers who are from his era and is really walking alongside legends. From working with an MC who is as skilled and feared by other rappers as Push to even standing so close to Nas after a time when he is not on good terms with someone like J. Cole, who of course has said multiple times and made entire songs about how Nas is his favorite MC overall. Kendrick is really showing us how he is really walking alongside legends. Now, regardless of where this all goes from here, whether we see Kendrick and Nas cross over through Clipse and Pharrell here, or whether we see Nas featured on Kendrick Lamar's next and more expansive album, because once again, in this time when nothing being done by these top tier MCs is by accident, Nas is clearly tapped in on some level with Kendrick as a whole. This is something that very few other MCs in the rap game are doing. In general, it is quite evident that we are on the verge of receiving additional peak music, and in addition to everything else that Kendrick Lamar has accomplished, I believe that he is poised to release a feature film that will be among the best of all time. 2025 is really starting to stack up for Kendrick Lamar as another year in which we are going to witness the pinnacle of what it means to be a rapper. From this song with Push to probably being featured on Doja's debut album to whatever else he may surprise us with. Because we always know Kendrick is going to do what we least expect. 2025 is really starting to stack up. On top of that, if we are going to begin with a record involving Pharrell, Kendrick, and Pusha T of all people, then it is possible that Kendrick will end up having a greater year than he had the previous year. With all of this being stated, I would like to know your thoughts on the upcoming collaboration between Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T. What are your thoughts on this? Could you please tell me what your expectations are and when you believe it will begin to decrease?